Hey guys, I'm back again. I wanted to show you guys how I made this enlarger, and I'm using my homemade view camera. I got the idea from Joe Van Cleve. He's pretty easy and he's pretty popular on YouTube. I think you can search him and find out how to make one for yourself. But I took it a step further, and he did it a little different, but I made it so that I can adjust my focus right here, and I can do some swing in the front and back and some shift. I don't have tilt, but I get by with that pretty good. And it's got an actual Fujinon 150 millimeter lens in it. It's a 5.6. Yeah, and he did it different. This is completely different. I have to, if you watch the video a little bit later, you can kind of see how I did it, kind of. But I made this diffuser box, and I got some clips that I'll show you how I made it. I actually have it on right now. Better turn it off. And I'm using this timer that I bought on eBay for 25 bucks. It's really accurate and precise. I like it. I've tested it and I've used it quite a bit already. Made some prints that I'll show here if you watch the rest of this video. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, let me show you how I'm making my 4x5 enlarger. I'm using a 4x6 picture frame, and I'm putting the glass on the outside and stacking a Fresnel lens and another piece of glass along with a ground glass that I made myself, and it's going to be all stacked together, and this is how I'm going to diffuse the light that I'm going to be using. And I just made myself a little box with some plastic, and this is where my filters are going to slide on top. So there's my little drawer that I made for my filters, because I want to do color and black and white. So I'm using this lens, and it doesn't really have to have a bellows, but I'm using a 5500K LED bulb, and I went to the store and bought one of these. The bulb was cheap, it was like $1, and I think that was $2 or $3 for the light socket. And I just taped it all together and glued it with hot glue, and I slid it into my back of my 4x5 camera that I made, where I have some homemade film holders that I slide in there with that I made too. So there's my filter drawer that I made, and it's just 2 pieces of glass from these picture frames. Yeah, they come with glass, so I bought a few of them. I think I'm into this camera about 10, or light box about $10 until I made that light box, and the filters were the most expensive thing. They costed like $50 almost with tax, well, $48. So I cut them to 4x6 size with my paper cutters, and these are the Arista. So I just open up that piece of glass and I slide them in there. I'm using that drawer so that I can print black and white or color, because I can use those filters. I was using the smaller ones, the 3x3 ones, but they were under the lens, and I was getting a little focus issues once I started using them, so kind of didn't like that. So I wanted it to be in the light source. And here's my view camera that I made. Basically kind of copied Joe Van Cleve's but improved it. And here's some of the images that I was able to produce with that camera. With this, I use a 120 film back that I made, and here's some of the film holders that I made for 4x5. and works pretty decent. I'm really happy with how it works. Some of the images have been very sharp and really good. And yeah, so you basically just slide that light box in there, and there's the light source when it's diffused with this little piece of plastic that I use to diffuse it, because it's extremely bright. I kind of almost blinded myself when I first turned it on. I started seeing stars. It was pretty bright, but I got some film masks for the film holder that I made, just 2 pieces of glass. And here's some of the prints that I was able to make with this 4x5, and I was pretty happy with it. It has even light, and it produces really good prints and super sharp. And with the contrast filters, I'm able to make, that's a zoomed in picture or cropped, but I'm able to make some really sharp images that looked really nice. And here's some of the first ones that I've done that are testing till I improved it a little better. It's very, very sharp images with this camera. I really like it, and I owe it a lot of the exposures to the light meter that I use, the Pentax light meter. I use 2 of them. I have my backup one, my old analog one, and the digital one. Works really great, and it makes beautiful prints. Here's a scan of the 120 film that I've used, and I actually got some work and some paid work with this camera. It actually paid for itself very tenfold. And I also dabbled with paper negatives as well, because it's a fun process. It's cheap, and you can load them up with the safe light, and it works out pretty good. As you can see, inverted in digital scan works pretty good. I'm mainly a 35mm guy, and I have bought a new digital camera, and this is one of my favorite ones. And kind of make the 35mm a little bigger than normal than I should, I guess. Some people would say that's too big, but when you're using good film, it's plenty of sharp. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for some more. Thanks, guys.